video, we are going to be doing a very mini lesson on how to solve rational equations. Now, there are a few different ways you can do this. One way is bringing everything over to one side and having your equation equal to 0. Get a common denominator and then solve for x, and that will be reminding you of how to solve your x-intercepts, because that's what it would be. Or something that I think is a little faster, if you already have, like in the first example, a fraction equals a fraction, we can cross multiply. So I'm going to multiply the x squared minus 1 with the x plus 2. And that's going to be equal to multiplying the 3 with the x plus 2. Okay, then we can, typically, I would expand and simplify this and then bring everything over to one side because it would become a cubic function. But I do notice that both sides have an x plus 2, which is going to make my life a little easier. So here's what I'm going to do. Before I expand and simplify, I'm just going to bring the 3 times x plus 2 over. And then I can actually, because both units have this x plus 2 in common, I'm just going to factor out this x plus 2. And when I factored out from this first component and I divide out x plus 2, I'm left with x squared minus 1. When I do it from the second unit and I factor out the x plus 2, I'm left with the negative 3. And now we have x plus 2, we have x squared minus 4, we have a difference of squares, and now I could easily solve. So when you're solving a rational equation, it will eventually just become a polynomial equation where you have to do some sort of factoring. Sometimes it might involve factor theorem with synthetic or long division, but in this case, kind of found a way out with that GCF. And our solutions are -2 and +2. Now, because this is a rational equation, there are some restrictions. Because my denominators had this x plus 2, x actually cannot equal to -2 as a solution, so that one doesn't actually work, and our only answer is that x is equal to 2. And if we sub that in, the left side and the right side will match. Now let's look at our next one. Our next one, I cannot go straight into my cross multiplying step because I don't have a fraction equals a fraction. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this 5 over 1 and get a common denominator on that left side. Now one of the denominators is x plus 1, the other one is 1. So I'm just going to multiply the second fraction, top and bottom, by x plus 1. And when I do that, now those two terms will unite. I'm going to take the 2 from the first fraction and add it to the 5 times the x plus 1. And I'm just going to distribute the 5 in while I do that. So 5x plus 5, and then put the other side. I'm going to clean up here, and then I will cross multiply. Okay, cross multiply here. The x will get multiplied with the 5x plus 7, and the 1 will get multiplied with the x plus 1. And now I'm just going to distribute the x in, and while I do that, I'm also going to bring the x plus 1 over to the other side. So I have 5x squared plus 7x, and then bringing the other two terms over, minus x and minus 1. Let me just collect like terms. And now I could try to factor, or I could do quadratic formula here. And just looking at this, I don't think that this is going to be factorable. So I'm going to do some quadratic formula. X equals -b, so -6, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 6 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 5, times c, which is -1, all over 2a, so 2 times 5. Just going to clean up, -6 plus or minus, and then under that bracket there we have 6 squared minus 4 times 5 times -1, which is 56, all over 10. And now just going to punch this. I mean, we could keep it like that as exact answers, and those definitely will not contradict our denominator restrictions. So if we look here, x cannot equal the -1 or the 0. That's definitely not what these are going to give us, but let's just see. So -6 plus the square root of 56, then divide that by 10. One of the answers is 0.15. The other one, -6 minus the square root of 56 divided by 10, -1.35. And there we are. There's our rational equation solving. So you might need to get a common denominator. You'll need to do some cross multiplication. And then after that, you're just solving using prior skills, whether it's solving a quadratic equation, sometimes a basic linear equation, sometimes a more interesting polynomial, so you have to do your factor theorem. But that's it.